Good morning, folks. The real Captain Kirk here. Day 55 remote. Not a lot of happy campers here in eastern Pennsylvania, as our governor's now said we're going to be saying this until at least day 80. Again, so not too happy here in eastern PA. Looking at the Q1 for our big retail clients on what happened Q1, Feb through April 2020, worldwide weather trends. These are trends year over year, how our customers like to see it, but big changes here in the U.S. Warmest in 3 years, sixth warmest in 35 years with much above average temperatures. You can see that big trend here on the right with the much warmer February, much warmer March, and then a cooler mid-April, but then some improving trends as we got into late April. Driest in 3 years, but still seventh wettest in 35 years with the above average national precip. Snowfall was the least in 8 years and sixth least in 35 years, so much below average temperatures there. So again, unfortunately, it would have been a good Q1 for retailers, but obviously a virus had other things to say about that. If we look at the trends here, this May trends here for the weekends, these are dramatically shifting pattern here. This Mother's Day weekend, 8th through the 10th, was the coldest in over 35 years. Dozens and dozens of record low temperatures in the east. Lots of snow in New England in the higher elevation. Had a few flurries here outside our studios. Good news is that's behind us now. It looks like a pretty sizable warming trend this weekend, 15 through 17 May. Sixth warmest in 35 years, so a pretty big shift. And then sneak peek all the way out there to Memorial Day weekend, at least the Friday through Sunday time frame. Fifth warmest in 35 years with potentially a borderline record heat here. We'll see if this plays out, but certainly looking at some 70s and 80s this weekend, and then Memorial Day weekend probably 80s, could flirting with some 90s. We'll see about that, but pretty big pattern shift here as we go through the month of May. Looking at this week, 11 through 17 May, about a degree cooler than last year. That makes it the coolest in 4 years, ninth coolest in 35 years, below average. Again, misleading here because we're starting off very cold, and then big, huge warm-up as we get toward the latter part of the week into the weekend. Severe weather, we're going to have to watch out for that from north central Texas into the Iowa, Illinois areas. Early this week, again, potential for some severe thunderstorm activity. Rainfall will be a little wetter than last year, 12th wettest in 35 years and above average. Looking at something we just released here to our clients was our hurricane outlook. Only big change that we made as we did actually up the Louisiana coastline, New Orleans in particular, put that into our high-risk areas. So our top 3 high-risk cities this year are going to be Miami, number 1, New York City, Long Island area, actually number 2, and Louisiana, New Orleans, number 3. So again, still expecting at least 20 named storms, 11 hurricanes, 5 major hurricanes, and a lot of threats here along the coastlines. If you believe the short-range models this time of year, they like to start to get active. Arthur, showing hints of that, deforming down toward Cuba and heading out into Atlantic. Doesn't appear that it would impact the U.S., but again, a sign of things to come here. So we'll see here. Late this week, models are trying to gen up Arthur. Again, something to watch. As we look at next week, week before Memorial Day weekend, 18 through 24 May, again, wholesale change here. 2.8 degrees warmer than last year, making it the 7th warmest in 35 years. So this is much above average temperatures across almost the entire U.S., maybe other than Maine. Driest in 4 years, 6th wettest in 35 years, so still above average. But again, this is more thunderstorming activity with this kind of heat, so not all-day rain events. Looking at the world aggregate trends here, 2-week outlook, 11 through 24 May. Again, warm in the U.S. Again, the good news, they're actually getting some rainfall out there in the Pacific Northwest. Northern Rocky Mountains has been extremely dry with drought-like conditions, so we'll hope for some rain out there here these next couple weeks. Looking at Europe, Europe's cooled off, so it was, they were pretty hot and now they're pretty cool. And the U.S. was pretty cold and now we're pretty warm, so kind of a flip-flop pattern here across the U.S. and Europe. We hope everyone had a great Mother's Day weekend. My girls had fun when it's snowing outside. You actually have fun inside. So the girls were making some goodies here, and I guess the best part of this was actually eating them. So with that, folks, we hope you have a great week, and we will be back here this time next week.